Hi, my name's Lilika, and today we're going to be looking at the conventions of editorials and speeches. This video is a part of a video series that I'm making right now on the syllabus update for AS Level English, which is code 9093. So if you're looking for more videos like this, just click on the link that'll pop up in the card right now, and that'll take you over to the playlist I made that'll include all of the videos I'm making on the syllabus update. But anyway, so editorials and speeches, they can both be put into the category of persuasive texts. An editorial is an article that presents the newspaper's opinion on an issue, and a speech is someone raising a specific opinion that they have and trying to convince people of it. So because of that, both of these types of texts do have a more persuasive theme running through them. So when it comes to persuasive text, there are two approaches you can take. The first one is the direct approach, which is to state the opinion and then the argument for your opinion. Or secondly, an indirect approach, which is to discuss/argue the topic and then state your opinion. And depending on the specific audience that you have or the topic that you're covering, there can be tactical reasons for picking either one of these two options. So as I said, editorials, they are just an article that presents a newspaper's opinion on an issue. So in my research, I found that there are generally 4 types of editorials that people write. The first type of editorial is one that tries to explain or interpret an event or idea that is socially relevant at the time. So editors will often use these editorials to explain the way the newspaper covered a sensitive or controversial subject. School newspapers may explain new school rules or a particular student body effort like a food drive. So that would be a few examples of where you would see that type of editorial. The second purpose an editorial may have is to criticize. These editorials constructively criticize actions, decisions, or situations while providing a solution to the problem identified. So the immediate purpose is to get the readers to see the problem, not the solution. And that is one important definition that puts it apart from the third type of editorial that you can find, and that is a persuasive editorial, where its purpose is to persuade the viewer of the view that the newspaper holds. So editorials of persuasion aim to immediately see the solution, not the problem. From the first paragraph, readers will be encouraged to take a specific positive action. Political endorsements are good examples of editorials of persuasion. The fourth and least common editorial that you will see is one of praise. So these editorials commend people and organizations for something done well. And as I said, you don't see those a lot, but they do exist, so I thought I'd just throw them in there just in case. Some characteristics of editorials is that it contains the opinions of the writer delivered in a professional manner, an objective explanation of the issue, especially complex issues, a primary topic or topics, an intended audience, facts and statistics, arguments to support the thesis or the idea behind what they're writing about, the ideology or point of view of the writer. When writing editorials, it's a good idea to develop logical and ethical arguments and avoid purely emotional rhetoric, to collect evidence, examples, and support for the view you are promoting, and also alternative solutions to the problem or issue being criticized. Alright, let's move on to the conventions of a speech. So as with any piece of writing, a speech will always have a specific structure that follows an introduction, a main body, and then a conclusion. Speeches will always use engaging and emotive language. It's person-to-person communication, audible conversation, so you can really use different inflections in your voice and such to really inject emotion into what you're saying, because a speech, again, is a method of persuasion. So the best way to persuade people oftentimes when it comes to specific topics where it is relevant, it would be to kind of pull on people's heartstrings to get them to be more open to your argument that they would have otherwise been. Part of using emotive language is to use rhetorical devices. These seek to make an argument more compelling than it otherwise would have been. So that would be like state a question that, is purely rhetorical, and, obviously people aren't going to reply to it. You don't want to have too many of these in a speech, but if you use them sparingly, they can really add an emphasis to your point that you're making at that specific stage of the speech. Always link back to the main idea. This helps the clarity remain as a theme throughout your speech. If you're just going all over the place and going on tangents without ever coming back to the main idea, your speech will lack substance and just feel confusing. and it'll be harder to kind of grab onto what you're saying and say, yeah, I agree with that, if you don't know what the people's talking about or the person who's giving the speech is talking about. So clarity is very important. Since you are speaking live in front of people, it's good to always have a bit of an informal touch. Those speeches are a formal mode of communication. It should be presented in a personal way, again, to make people more open to the argument that you're trying to put across to them. You want to support your arguments with facts or statistics, anecdotes, and humor. Because speeches are oftentimes about serious topics, it can really bring a relief to tension that you build up when you just like throw in a bit of a joke to get people to, you know, loosen up a bit and again make them more open to what you're saying. Also, facts and statistics, they really back up your argument and they really help the clarity that I mentioned you should have previously. And anecdotes will help it give a bit more of a personal touch, and human people connect to human stories. So adding those in a speech will always help people connect with you as a person more than if you just use purely non-emotive rhetoric. And then lastly, you should always consider the audience. Always consider their expectations, interest, and the nature of your audience, because everything that you write, every sentence and every word in your speech has to be there for a specific reason, for a specific purpose, and it's very hard to figure out what your purpose is if you don't consider the people that you are giving the speech to or writing the speech for. So always consider the audience when you're writing a speech. But that's the end of this video. If you want this video in text form so you can study it properly without having to pause the video and stuff like that, the first link in the description, you can just click on that. That'll take you over to the blog that I wrote in tandem with this specific video, so you can use that for whatever you needed. If you like this video, give it a like. If you really liked it, subscribe. I'm making a whole bunch of videos on conventions, and then in the end I will also make some videos on linguistic elements that are a part of the syllabus change that has now rolled out for Cambridge International in 2021. So if you are interested in those types of videos, subscribe so that you can be notified next time I upload one of these videos. But thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one, and good luck on your studying journey. Please tell me I recorded.